about in the Maserati. It's when I first tested it, I knew it was a little bit different to the other GT4s in that it was basic, but in a good way. It didn't have any of the driver aids you see in today's GT4s with the traction control, ABS, stability control. It literally was just a pure through and through race car, engine, four wheels, steering wheel, seat, and that was it really. It was, and that's how I liked it, because you've really got to drive it. It's a real driver's car, and you've got to wrestle it around the track a little bit. It's always moving, dancing around a little bit, and that's, you know, that's what I really like. Well, the car, like I said, is very different, so I was always thinking in my head it's either going to be really quick or really slow. Thankfully it was the first one, it was really quick, so in the practice, because we had a bit of trouble actually with the radio for the whole weekend really, but so I was not communicating with the team until I actually came in the pits and spoke to them. So when it did come in, I was really surprised when it starts fastest on the track, so it was a little bit unexpected, especially because I hadn't been in the car for a little bit of time, and it is so different from the McLaren. But no, I mean, it was just after that, it was just a case of helping Charlie a little bit, because it was a new car for him and a new track for him, so he was a little bit off my pace. But it's fine, like I said before, I mean, I can fill that role quite nicely in helping on with the data and helping on with the driving of the car and stuff and getting used to it, so I was feeling quite comfortable and confident. Even to look at, they're quite different cars, and they do have different strengths in different areas, in that the Maserati has, I found it very good around the corners, handles very well, change of direction is absolutely excellent, and you wouldn't think that from looking at it because it looks a big heavy car. Whereas in fact the McLaren was stronger in a straight line than the Maserati. Midway down the straight it was very quick compared to the Maserati, and the braking on the McLaren is unbelievable. It's so good, the brakes on the McLaren. Whereas the change of direction and cornering, not so much in the McLaren. You know, you find a lot of understeer in the car, which is where you could really capitalise in the Maserati. And I think that helped me a lot, knowing the strengths and weaknesses of a lot of the cars. You know, obviously on a track that I know very well as well, so I think it all came together for Spa. I mean, starting from the back, looking forward, there is a lot of cars to get past, and that's always going on in your mind because it's only an hour race, so it's not a long time. But after how strong we were in the practices, I knew we could do a lot of damage in the race, and it was a bit frustrating the first stint because obviously Charlie was in the car, and the plan was obviously to get him in pretty soon to get as much seat time for myself in as possible. And during Charlie's stint there was a safety car for quite a while, which compromised obviously our time on the track to attack as much as we could. So I think Charlie, not really too sure what position we came in, but it wasn't exactly where we hoped it to be. So we did come into the pits for the driver change. I had a little bit of work to do, and which I'm fine with, I don't mind, love a bit of work, especially in a race car. And yeah, I mean, I got in the car, it felt really good from as soon as I went out, again, right to the finish, and I was picking off cars and just loving the track, loving driving the car, felt really good and really confident, really comfortable. Well, saying comfortable, I wasn't too comfortable in that car, it's not the most comfortable car in the world, but no, I think I had a really good race. Now, we did have a bit of luck with the Tolman team and then McLaren having a bit of a breakdown. That was unfortunate for them. I don't know if we were fast, but they had a big gap, so I think it would have been close at the end, but who knows what would have happened. But no, race 1 we ended up winning it from the back, which is, you know, don't know if it's history or not, but hopefully it is. And with the nice fastest lap on the way, and I think it was the lap record as well in race 1, so I was absolutely buzzing with that. Well, the start of the race, I didn't really want to get too carried away in race 2. So I mean, the initial start itself wasn't anything spectacular. I mean, I got past a few cars, done what I needed to do on the first few corners, but I didn't want, the last thing I wanted was to have damage or to crash, because I knew we had the pace from race 1. but it's just after that, as soon as everyone settled down into a little bit, you know, more of a train, bit of a pattern, that was when I really started to go for it. And it was just, you know, passing a lot of cars. I remember thinking to myself, I'd pass a car and there'd be loads more from it. But again, I just absolutely loved it. Took me back to like karting days where you're just passing all the time, loads of action in the race, like full on the whole time. Not what you would expect from an endurance race at all. It was just full on constantly, and I absolutely loved it. Loved it. It was my favourite race, most enjoyable race I've done in an absolute long time. And to get from the back of the grid to the front of the grid, like I say, in half an hour was something pretty special. And it was a good feeling when I got to the front, and I just kept stretching out, and just giving Charlie as easy a job basically to do in his stint as possible. So we had no doubt that we could get both wins at Spa. We did have a long pit stop, which when Charlie went back out, obviously put him back to, I think it was third or something. But I was always very confident after that because being a silver pairing, he's in among the guys at the front were amateur drivers, so, and you know, Charlie was a bit quicker than them obviously, so I was fairly confident. As soon as I got out of the car, I knew that was sort of pretty much job done, and Charlie done what he needed to do, and pulled out a nice gap as well, so I think it was a very good effort from everyone, and I was absolutely chuffed with the driver put in to make that happen. Well, it was such a big relief to get that win because I feel like I should have had it last year, win the Aston Martin. I feel like we should have had a win. We had the pace and the car was quick enough to do our win, but just things didn't quite fall into place, whether that be with mechanical issues or whatever. But it was a bit of weight off my shoulders, and to do it in the way we'd done it from the back of the grid was pretty spectacular. And again, like I say, the track we were on made it all a little bit better and a bit more sweet, so no, it did take a bit of weight off my shoulders.